Hello, welcome to the weather update on this second day of August, nearing 10 o'clock, and for another very comfortable day, but you'll notice the smoke was on the increase today. We had some cirrus around, too, so the sky was hazy at times. There was some waves of smoke that came through, although there was some blue sky in the afternoon, but you can see looking at the satellite, you can see all the smoke, I think that's going to be coming on in. You can see it's kind of shifting off to the east now, or that smoke was off to the southwest. It's going to start moving in. You also see what's very interesting here, and I'm going to pause this for a moment. I got to wait for it to loop around here again. Yeah, look closely. You'll notice here. Look at all these contrails here. So, yeah, I noticed the one thing that the smoke does, because it's at the upper levels, there's a lot of contrails when you get it. It almost acts like upper level moisture. And I noticed that today. So we'll look at the pictures first of all from today. So in the afternoon, we did have a little bit of blue sky in the afternoon around 3 o'clock or so. And you'll see blue sky with puffy white clouds. This is at Southard's Lake, Southard's Pond, and Babylon. But you'll notice here as I kind of look toward the west, you can start seeing the smoke kind of coming on in here. You can definitely see it here on the horizon. You can see this is looking west, so you can definitely see the smoke that's coming in. And then it was even more noticeable a little later on. You can see again the waves of smoke in the atmosphere there coming in, and we're still at the blue sky. You notice it's blue sky, and then it started getting hazier as we got toward the evening. One more look at it. All right, so as we got toward sunset, the sky was pretty junked up, and you could see the haze and also contrails too, the smoke and the contrails. So pretty junky looking. This is at Massapequa Reserve. Pretty junky looking sky right there. You can see all the smoke and the haze again that we've been avoiding, but areas to our south and west have had to deal with. Here's whoop, come on. You can see here again, lots of that smoke, and then you got the contrails in here. So smoke and jet smog, and then you can see here, look at all that. It's disgusting. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have a pretty hazy sky tomorrow as this stuff rolls in, along with the contrails, of course. Looking at the MODIS satellite as well, we'll look at that. You can see, again, this shows the smoke very well here. You can see the smoke, and you can see Long Island. This was earlier on in the day. We didn't have as much smoke around. We had cumulus pop up. You can see here the smoke made it all the way down to North Carolina. It's coming all the way from, again, you can see where it's originating. Northwest Territories there. Seeing a lot of wildfires going on there. And then we still have, of course, the wildfire in Oregon, other wildfires, but most of the smoke is coming from the Northwest Territories of Canada. You can see the western Pennsylvania, so this is all kind of shifting eastward here as we go throughout the day. This was taken earlier on in the day, and then we had a lot of cumulus pop up as we got toward later on in the day, a lot of cumulus, and some cirrus moving through. You can see that first wave of smoke that came through and made the skies hazy in late morning, midday, early afternoon, and then we had a little break, and then we're getting into more smoke now. So let's go to the current conditions outside right now, and you'll see here in our area that another comfortable day again today. So right now temperatures are, drum roll please, if this thing will work. It might not work today. Some days we don't get this to work. All right, 70 degrees at Islip, so all right, the alley's only about 5 degrees warmer than that, 75. Dew point's up to 54 because the winds have shifted to the south. We had east winds becoming south today. So if we look at what the day was like at Islip, you'll see temperatures generally in the 70s, low dew points with the north winds actually showing north winds, and then it just went from north to south, and so the temperatures were around 80, and then when the winds shifted to the south, they dropped with the sea breeze, but the humidity went up. And the dew points went up into the mid-50s, but that's still comfortable. So another nice, comfortable day across the area. Let's look at our highs across the area, and you'll see highs generally below normal. Again, 79 at Islip. Didn't even make it to 80. 81 at Shirley. 80 at Farmingdale. Even in LaGuardia, 79. Even Jersey, only around 80 degrees for highs. Looking at the lows, West Hampton got down to 50. I had a feeling there'd be some good radiational cooling, and there was. Down to 50 at West Hampton, down to 61 at Islip, 61 at Farmingdale, LaGuardia 66, which is probably more similar to the alley, and then 50s generally in New Jersey. So, yeah, it was a very cool night, a very pleasant night. Really some nice weather. that we've been enjoying. However, things are going to change for a little bit, but generally speaking, it won't get too brutal. So let's go look at our statistics from the Weather Service here, our climate statistics. So for ice slip, we were 5 degrees below normal at ice slip for the day. Again, Central Park was 4 degrees below normal for the day. So, yeah, that's significant for sure. And you'll notice here when you look at the precipitation, even though we had a very wet month in August, all right, so ice slip is above normal for precipitation, 9.09 inches since June 1st. A little bit below, if we go through January here, you'll see, because I didn't talk about this yesterday. So ice slip's above normal, though, since June 1st. But Central Park, interestingly enough, is actually below normal for precipitation. So that's very interesting. And if we go look at ice slip's rainfall, and that's because of the rain that we got. So if we go look back to the monthly weather summary for ice slip here, you'll note that the precipitation, the rainfall for the month of ice slip for July, we had 7.19 inches. The normal is supposed to be 3.26. That's almost double the amount of rain we're supposed to see. And then there are other areas, of course, that got way in excess of that. If we go up into like Vermont and stuff, some of these sites in Vermont, actually, we can look at some of these areas that got hit very hard. Let's see if we can find a site out of this weather service, like Burlington, Vermont. All right, I'm just kind of curious to go over those monthly, if we can get that information. We'll have to see, because their weather service site is different. Yeah, so they don't make it easy to find those reports, and I'm not really going to cover it in this weather update, but I'm sure it was way above normal. So let's go to the Storm Prediction Center and show you where the severe storms are, and you'll see here the slight risk in the Midwest is generally what we're dealing with. And then as we go into tomorrow, we actually go up to an enhanced risk. And again, it's the traditional. It's not so much the east. Usually, this is kind of backwards, because when we started the summer, a lot of the severe weather was in the south and the east, the southeast, like Alabama and Tennessee. And now we're seeing it move back into the Midwest, the traditional area that usually is in May. So it just goes to show you how much the weather patterns are messed up. And if we go look at the weather and hazards map here, I'll put the highs on here. So we'll show you where all that heat is. You can see all these excessive heat warnings for places like Mississippi, all the way up into Missouri, parts of Oklahoma, Texas, of course. We have these excessive heat warnings that are in effect here, and then we have excessive heat watches and air quality alerts as well for this area. So you can see here, and I wish it would show most of the highs. Oh, come on. All right, this doesn't want to work properly, but you'll see highs were in the hundreds. Look at that, 108 as far north as Wichita, Kansas. I mean, that's insane kind of heat for Wichita. 100 degrees at Dodge City for a high, and it's still 86 degrees with a dew point of 74, and 93 with a dew point of 62 at Wichita. At least the dew points aren't excessive, but I think as we go further south, it gets worse. Like Alexandria, which had a high of 106, and they're 91 right now with a dew point of 73. So this is the kind of heat that they're dealing with here. It's pretty brutal. And again, when you have the humidity, it makes it even that much worse. But you can see they were in the hundreds today. That's it's not supposed to get that hot there. I mean, normally you see 90s. But heat index is well up to 115 degrees. It's just absolutely brutal. Like I said, these places are just, I don't know how anyone could survive living there. It's worse than Florida even, all right, because you're just not by the ocean. You don't get any relief, though. We've seen the water temperatures off Florida, too, which is always a big concern. So let's go to the radar, and we'll look at the radar next and show you where all the severe weather is. And you can see a little complex of storms around Green Bay, a few in Missouri. It's not widespread, but there are areas of severe weather that are around. And then we're starting to see the monsoons, which luckily are helping the fires in the southwest, like around Las Vegas. They've gotten some rain there, and that should help with that. So let's go to the models now, and we'll look at what's going to be happening now through the weekend. So fair weather continues tomorrow, though we'll probably see more clouds. That high kind of shifts offshore. Best chance of rain is Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday we should have a return to fair weather with a weak high pressure system that comes in. Let's look at the HRRR. Here is the HRRR. Let's do that. Showing tomorrow. Again, there's that high kind of moving offshore. And again, as we go into Friday, that's when we'll have our rain chances, though. Right now, it doesn't look all that widespread, but take a look at this. That looks like a line of severe thunderstorms. So we're going to have to watch possibly for the next chance of maybe some severe weather Friday night. That looks like a pretty impressive line. This is as far as it goes. It's as far as it goes. But that would be our next chance. So let's go to the dew points now, and you'll see that dry air kind of stays the air. You know, we have the southerly wind tomorrow, but the dew points still stay fairly comfortable. Generally 50s, though. They might be a little higher, closer to 60 in Jersey with the south wind. And then we'll start seeing the humidity flowing in on Friday, and that's when we'll start seeing those dew points rise. 60s and 70s, we'll have the humidity again, and it's going to feel more like typical August, even though it's nice. This little break from the humidity we're getting is really wonderful. Looking at our air temperatures tonight, we'll probably drop again, maybe not quite as low as last night, probably 55 to 60, and maybe low to mid-60s in the more urbanized areas. Who knows if the alley will even go below 70, but as far as tomorrow goes, it will remain cool. Inland, maybe a little more into the low 80s, maybe mid-80s, but here on Long Island, I think highs will just be around 80 degrees. And then for Friday, that's when we'll see more of that humidity, but we'll have a lot of cloud cover. But, you know, if we have more breaks of sun, it could get hotter than that. But generally, temperatures low 80s looks like the more the heat stays off to the west. So let's go look at the skies. And as far as, like I said, that Friday, we'll have a better idea tomorrow night of what's going to happen on Friday. But just keep in mind that that's our day for active weather. So tomorrow we'll have, you know, a hazy look to the sky with cirrus and jet smog possible. And, you know, with the smoke, we'll look at that in a moment. You'll see the smoke's going to come in. Friday, plenty of clouds, maybe some breaks, but plenty of clouds. And then as we get into Saturday, that's when we clear it out. And then we should actually have a nice day for Saturday. For mostly sunny skies. We'll have to see if we're going to be dealing with smoke, and then the cirrus will probably come back at us on Sunday. So we'll probably just get one decent day of skies, but again, we don't know what's going to happen with the smoke. That's too far in advance. Let's go now to the smoke models, and we'll look at the vertically integrated smoke. So you'll see here comes the smoke, kind of, you see it's working its way back into the area, and it could be thick at times. Tomorrow's sunset could be very red. If you want to see a crazy-looking sunset tomorrow night, you're going to see it, and then after that, the smoke kind of eases. That's the vertically integrated smoke. Now, I'll run the near-surface smoke as well, because it was indicating that there is some near-surface smoke in western Pennsylvania through the Appalachian areas, and it's possible some of that gets toward us. I don't think we're going to see it, though, because of the marine layer, so it's going to stay aloft, but you never know. You never know. Just keep that in mind. You might smell it a little bit if it gets thick enough. So I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.